Was looking at my stats in untapped.gg and I realized that I have a perfect 11-0 win rate since switching over to the Lurrus version of the Recurring Nightmare deck. I made a new copy of the deck to make the Lurrus version instead of the Giganta version, and it turns out we have not dropped the game yet. So we're going to record another video of this. Let's see how long we can keep that streak going. And since I said that, of course, we're going to lose this first game, but hey, we're having fun out here. Let's not get obsessed with win rates, with ranks, with anything. We're having a really good run of form, which is awesome, and we're climbing that ladder. But the purpose of this video is not to show off. It's to teach and demonstrate. I want other people to learn this deck. I want to talk about the lines and sequencing. I myself want to work on the deck. I want to make it better. I've been obsessed with this deck lately. I'll be honest, this is one of the funnest decks I've ever played. I always have fun with the sequencing decisions that come with it. So this hand is okay. I wouldn't call this a good hand. I think we're going to keep it just because we don't know what we're playing against. If I knew what we were playing against, maybe I would mulligan it. We have a 1-drop into a 2-drop. If this Ocelot Pride gets stonewalled, then the Bowmasters isn't good, then this hand is going to do nothing. But it's still probably better than a mediocre 6. So we're going second against nothing. Okay. So we have the choice. We can play the Ocelot Pride or hold up a Lightning Bolt, but I personally will almost always play the threat. If they play a crazy threat of their own, we can always answer it at sorcery speed. I played Sacred Founder just so that I can play both of these cards without having to shock in separately. If I do want to bolt something next turn, then I'm probably going to bolt it and fetch a Surveil land. Right, our opponent is on a mono blacklist. Probably similar to the one I play. They might reanimate this troll. We'll see. They do reanimate the troll. Okay. So we can try to win around this. We obviously can't attack into it, but we can flash out a Bowmasters. Our opponent put themselves down to 14. They might go even lower. So I think it's a pretty good idea for me to play this Bloodstained Mire. Probably going to fetch a basic swamp, flash in this Bowmasters on my opponent's end step. Playing my air doesn't do anything. Randomly bolting doesn't do anything. If I feel the need to bolt, I can always bolt and then fetch a Surveil land on their end step. Of course, no reason to attack with the cat. If I had 3 mana, I would maybe attack with the cat, because if they block it, we go bolt, ping, and the troll dies. I don't have enough mana for that, unfortunately. Let's see if they get in there. Our opponent will get in here. Tells me they might have a Bowmasters or something to deal with my little kitty cat. Nothing yet. I'm gonna play my own Bowmasters out, see what happens. We'll grab the basic. We do need an answer to the troll at some point, though. And we do have to, unfortunately, triple block Assuming Corruption. Yep. It's a good card. Answers to the troll, he says. I'll have to think about that one. I think what we should be doing here is we should be attacking. We're gonna Nightmare back our little kitty cat. And then I'm thinking about whether or not I need to be holding up this bolt right now. I could actually sacrifice the Bowmasters if I want to loop it. I don't think I will. If they had X1s on the board for me to ping, I would definitely consider doing that. I think we're going to tap out. I don't think we're going to need the bolt at instant speed. We need to conserve our life, because if we can gain a little bit of life, that means we can take another hit from this troll. We're definitely in the position of losing to this troll, though. And a Shieldred. Okay, so I think this game is going to be over. There's a cool Ajani. Does Ajani afford me any lines to win? We could triple block. We could also, well, we don't have any creatures in the bin, but if we did, we could have flipped the Ajani. I don't think we have anything going on here, unfortunately. Gonna have to give this one up. So against this mono black deck, I'm thinking about what I would want. We could bring in Surgicals for their reanimate, just to try to stop that nonsense. Prismatic Ending also might answer some of their threats. Not really, though. Needle for either One Ring or Necro, because I'm sure their build is going to play one of those. We'll keep the Ragavans on the play, and then on the draw, we probably cut Ragavans for Surgicals. That seems like a pretty good plan. Great. That is a double Ocelot Pride opener. Against the Reanimate deck, since we are going first, I will keep this. If we were going second, I probably wouldn't. Do we want to start on basic planes? I think that's acceptable. And then if opponent doesn't have a turn 1 blocker here, this is really sweet. And if they have a removal spell, it's fine. They use a removal spell on a little 1-mana creature instead of something that's a little bit more impactful. Right, Johnny. Yeah, let's go ahead and saturate our mana, play this Johnny. Now we can threaten to flip it with Nightmare pretty much immediately, since we have the Ocelot Pride in our graveyard. We're threatening to flip it next turn.
I will prove my worth to my pride.
And if the Ajani does die to a Fatal Push, we can just Nightmare it back again. Let's see what happens here. Alright, Harvester, you got it. Looks like they have a 0-mana play like a Grief. Oh, Surgical. Nice. Yeah, Surgical on a Johnny right now is pretty good. I can not Nightmare it back. They didn't know about Nightmare. If they did know about Nightmare, this is 100% the correct play. Without knowing about Nightmare, it's a little bit of an iffy play, but they did get me here. And we're going to get griefed. Yikes. Alright. So we lose the Nightmare anyway, even though we lost the good card to get back with it. So the question now is, do we want to put Lurrus into our hand? I like the idea of putting Lurrus into our hand. We could just play out this kitty cat, but it's just a 1-drop. I'd rather have a much more powerful effect in Lurrus. The only concern with putting Lurrus in my hand is that they could reanimate a Grief, and then they could just take them. That is bad. Maybe I could have played around that instead. If they had to reanimate, they would have probably shot it off quicker. They would have done Grief reanimate turn 1 or Harvester reanimate a little quicker. Sweet. So we are going to get some Lurrus value. Oh, and we draw Guide of Souls, the best card in the deck, right? I could just do Guide of Souls Ocelot Pride from my hand, but let's go ahead and get the Lurrus down. And get Orzhov mana here. We can shock. The opponent's not pressuring our life total very much at all. Lurrus. Get the little kitty cat. And next turn we can play both of these out. Hopefully get the City's Blessing. Hopefully get our Chthonian Nightmare to start doing something funny and recurring. Maybe I could have waited one more turn on playing Lurrus, because what's sweet about Lurrus and Nightmare together is that Nightmare lets me buy back the Lurrus. So Lurrus is now not going anywhere. Auto Tapper kind of got me here. It didn't leave up mana, a white mana for me, but that's okay. Oh, I don't have a basic. My basic's in play. That's fine. I wasn't paying too much attention because I was yapping for the video as I do. And Flyer Cat. It's pretty clear from how Priority is passing that they don't have interaction there. Arena is kind of shitty in the fact that it tells very easily like that. Yeah, and we just run away with this game. Scamming the Harvester of Misery, it would kill most of my board, but I would still get this Ocelot Pride in play. And if they reanimate this, they go to 1. Oh, Path of Peril, it's pretty nice, but we have a Lurrus in play. And since we have Guide of Souls in our graveyard, we get the classic Guide of Souls lethal. Oh no, we don't get lethal. Sorry, they got a 1 here. I don't know why I thought that was lethal. That's fine. Let's get the Ocelot Pride into play. And then we'll replay the Nightmare just so it's safe from discard spells. Ocelot Pride will trigger, getting me 2 kitty tokens. So Lurrus, because we made him a 5/4, he's safe from Harvester of Misery, which is one card that can get us pretty well, and as we saw, he's also safe from Path of Peril. Right, so let's go to game 3. Like I said, let's put the Surgicals in for the Ragavans. And that looks like pretty decent sideboarding to me. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot my little profile picture. Oh, let's do our mulligan first. I think this is this is kind of borderline going second. I'd love some interaction, but what am I supposed to mulligan until I see one of my 3 copies of Surgical? We have Nightmare and we have Amulet to grind. I think we accept that in this matchup we're gonna grind. If they have a really degenerate fast hand like they had in game 1, oof, it might give us problems. Alright, hold on, I forgot to put on the profile picture. We gotta put on the sweaty try hard one. Oh boy, we're typing. Alright, give me a kitty cat, please. Double Bowmasters is pretty nice. It's not great against their deck. Maybe Bowmasters is a card I could cut for interaction. I could cut the Bowmasters with Thoughtseize, because really all Bowmasters does is it like kills their Bowmasters. And it puts, you know, some flash pressure on them, but like who cares, right? Doesn't really beat their deck. Unless they're a One Ring variant. I haven't seen the One Ring yet. But I haven't seen Necro either. Like, these black decks play either one of those card advantages. They're either on a Necro build or a One Ring build. I would think this is a One Ring build, because it looks a lot like my build. We drew both of our Surveillance, the classic. We've been consumed by the corruption. Okay. I'll just play the Bowmasters. It's your turn. Let's go ahead and fetch. Since they're really not pressuring me, I think we could shock here. They might play a Shieldred and turn the pressure on, though, so let's be considerate. Another question is, do we want to put the Amulet on our turn? Do we want to just flash a Bowmasters again? I think flashing Bowmasters again is totally cool. Let's surveil and see. Maybe that'll help our decision. We can get a land away. That seems pretty good. It'll play Bowmasters there for 1 more damage, but let's flash it on their end step. It is a One Ring. Okay, sweet. So these double Bowmasters are actually amazing right now. Cool. And if they do have something like a Path of Peril, a Harvester to clear my Bowmasters, we have Nightmare to buy him back. Ooh, and it's a Johnny. We get to flip him immediately. Oh, I'm in heaven. All right. Anyway, yeah, my opponent's tapped out. So what are they gonna do? Play the Ajani?
It's not perfect.
Play the Nightmare?
Have peace.
Bring back the kitty cat? Okay, I have a kitty cat, right? Yep, just one little kitty cat though. And this will get me excess energy to use with my amulet. We don't have a red permanent in play for the Ajani yet, but we have the amulet coming next turn. What do you have for 0 mana? You don't have anything, don't lie to me. Oh, you have a surgical? Okay. That's fine, I still get to flip my Ajani. I don't mind this card going to Jesus. He can go live at a farm upstate with all the other pets that got a little too old. My Johnny, you got it.
Traitors will be punished.
So if I do... Oh no, I don't control a red permanent, so I don't get the damage. I was about to say, maybe I decline to press the 0, just so I don't have to deal damage to one of my own creatures, but it's only if I have a red permanent, which I don't. We're gonna play Amulet next turn to get our red permanent in play and get cooking. What's cool is even if they wipe our board right now, what we could do is we just make a creature with the Ajani Nightmare, get our Bowmasters back. That's pretty sweet. You get both Bowmasters back, which I totally would. They have One Ring in play. Ah, the Meat Hook, okay. But now they're pretty free to draw. They also gain a crap ton of life. Okay, but we can get both Bowmasters back, and I will. We have to decline to play the Amulet in order to do that. Ooh, okay. Take my Nightmare. Nice job. Yeah, that's a good play. They know about that Nightmare, and they know it's really important for me to get the Bowmasters back. Oh, I'm sorry, opponent. That's rough. They totally made the right play, ripping that Nightmare out of my hand, and I just draw another. That's unfortunate for them. Totally the right play to pitch Grief there. And take my Nightmare, because this is my win con right here. I get one Bowmaster back, sack the token, get the second one back. And now they're back under the gun, and they can't really use their ring. And I also built up extra energy. I have 4 extra energy, that's 2 extra cards on my Unstable Amulet. They are gaining life off the Meat Hook, which is a card I personally really like. Ooh, perfect. You can also Needle the Ring. I actually might Needle Necropotence since I have all these Bowmasters. Hey, stop doing that. Yeah, I think I might Needle Necro just in case they are playing both. Because we can keep this One Ring in check. We could just loop these Bowmasters forever until Johnny gets answered, which I don't think their deck can really answer him. They have maybe like 1 or 2 Shielders Edicts. I think a Consuming Corruption could do it too, but how many copies of this card do they play? Ooh, they put it on top. I'd love to know. So are we gonna name the One Ring? I think it's better to just do the Bowmasters plan. So we have that available to us. I'll go ahead and start doing my Chthonian Nightmare first while I think about it. Because it's very unlikely they're playing both, but I have seen people play both. Maybe I should just Needle it anyway?
Share in my vengeance.
Okay, welcome back. Did they draw a Surgical, maybe? Okay. Oh, that would have been scary. Our opponent's still at 20 just because this Meat Hook Massacre is really putting in overtime. I'm gonna name Necro here. Like, we're gonna cover all of our bases. I don't think Necropotence is in their deck, but if it is, it will beat us. This One Ring is not beating us unless that last card in their hand, or their draw per turn, is another master removal spell. Grief back on top? Okay. I just have to make sure that my Chthonian Nightmare stays in play instead of going to my hand. That's right, you got it. The Apocalypse, you got it. Bing. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 can go here. And they can grief me and take the Nightmare, sure. If Dark Ritual Grief, you got it. Well, the good news is I get to keep my Amulet at least. Maybe they will let me keep the Nightmare. I doubt it. Yeah, that card's just too good. Alright, let's think about this. Is the auto tapper correct? I think so. I do want to cast this white spell over here, but it's leaving me 2 white mana up. It seems pretty good. Let's take a look at our top card. The top card is an Amped Raptor. I love that thing. Let's play Guide of Souls first, max our energy. Hear me out. I don't care about this grief at all. I kind of do care about this Death Right's ability to gain life and hit our graveyard, though. So, let's go ahead and fly in a very large Orc Army Angel. Yeah. Oh, we're cooking alright. Yep, there goes most of my board. And they're gonna gain a bunch of life off of that, unfortunately. At least we still have our Angel. Our Heavenly Angel. But they did draw a bajillion cards, of which one of which could be Fatal Push. And that would probably beat us right here. We are back in a sketchy situation. Maybe I really should have just needled the ring. That could have been a mistake. Like, I mean, I don't want to say this is my literal list I play, but this looks exactly like my list. I should have just assumed they were playing the same cards I play. Okay. Very cool. King. King again. Alright, hear me out, chat. If they don't have interaction, this is lethal. Yes, it is! Woo! Because we were going to sacrifice Bowmasters to bring back another Bowmasters. It would have been one more ping and one more counter on the token. Woohoo! Rank 12! Woo! Alright, the win streak continues. Let's do it. Alright. We are on the draw against the Lurrus deck. I actually think I keep this one on the draw. If we draw any other mana source, we can cast all of our cards, and we have 2 removal spells for the Lurrus deck, which I value very, very highly. We also have Ragavan. If they don't present a turn 1 play themselves, I think this is a fine 1-lander. Okay, it's the Lurrus control deck, not a Lurrus energy deck. I'm still cool with this because they do play threats like Psychic Frog that I would just love to shoot as soon as they come down. Psychic Frog Bowmasters, they're both creatures that you can shoot and generate some energy with. Ooh, we get a hit in? Wow, we get a hit with Ragavan. Unfortunately, we didn't hit the land drop, but we get to hit them with Ragavan, which is huge. A push. Do not need that card. I'm going to cast the Amped Raptor and see if we can start to get ahead on board. I'm thinking really quick. The only cards that are not good to hit here are the Static Prisons and the other Discharges. That's only 4, since we already drew 2 of them. Let's do it. I'd love to hit another threat. They give up? You give up? Dude, I kept a 1-lander! Wait, no, don't give up. Oh, man. Some people need a modicum of patience. Okay. Against this deck. The thought seizes it. I would assume they're controlling Lurrus deck. I mean, they're playing Mystic Sanctuary, right? So it only gets so fast when you're playing Mystic Sanctuary. We'll cut a Ragavan on the draw. Maybe we want the pending for their deck. I don't know, missing having an unlicensed hearse style graveyard hate, because that would be quite good. The pending better than the volt. Really. Okay, what are we looking at? We're looking at a Thoughtseize and a Ragavan for turn 1. My choice. Let's do it. Alright, as you can see, I'm furiously whacking away on my keyboard, waiting for my opportunity to go. It's sweaty gamer hours out here. Shock in the Nethergoyf. Okay, so they're the version playing all the creatures. Interesting. Maybe I should have my prismatic ending, huh? So what comes first? There's a couple ways we can sequence this. We can start with the Ragavan. We can start with the Thoughtseize. Starting with the Ragavan. What's the worst case scenario starting with the Ragavan? They hold their Nethergoyf back, or maybe they have a Bowmasters in hand, but then we counter Bowmaster it, then Thoughtseize, and I think we're still okay. Lead Crypt me? Play the Ragavan. Thoughtseize is probably getting cast on turn 3. We're gonna almost definitely Bowmaster instead next turn. Alright, so I'm not going to attack here and try to ping this in order to get a trade because they can just throw an instant into their graveyard and then the Goyf grows again. So we're going to shock here, kind of telegraphing we have a Bowmasters, but I don't care. They're holding up their mana. Yep, they'll just Lorien reveal. That's okay. Yep, see, they could instantly grow it. Nethergoyf is a very scary card, especially in this deck that's like just naturally playing Bobble, a healthy mix of instants and sorceries and other random things. This thing becomes like a 4/5 and a 5/6 really quick. My Bowmaster is going to get flashed out here. So we'll see whether they take our discard spell or they take our recursion engine. Nightmare does not do anything right now, but it is the better card as the game goes longer. So we'll see what they're interested in taking. Yeah, they do take the Thoughtseize, so they didn't want me taking a look. They're fine with me being a little grindy. Their deck is quite slow, so I'm sure they don't mind. I'm gonna shock it a lot this game. Oof. We're just passing. Okay, I'm very okay with that. We can just recur it with Nightmare, super easy. The classic end-step Brainstorm Gaming. Gotta love it. I will say this is not worth blocking here, mostly because I do want this token to be in place so that we can recur the Bowmasters. Our opponent may very much have the counter spell ready, though. They probably do. Yep, Tamia. Yeah, this blue-black deck is sick. They have a lot of stuff going on. Okay. So what do we want to do? I think we want to do the Nightmare. Follow it up with a Discharge on the Tamia. I'm just thinking about what order I want to play them in, because one is probably getting countered. Let's go ahead and throw this Nightmare at them. Let's see if it eats in counterspell. If it does, we do get to kill Tamio here. Tamio is a card that could just flip off of a Brainstorm and pretty much lock us out of the game. Her +1 here, or +2, is very, very hard for us to beat. Opponent drops the Drain. We will shoot Tamio. The specific timing of me responding there actually doesn't matter at all. So next turn, we're kind of have to hope our Lurrus resolves. If it doesn't, we're really running on empty. I do really like this deck. I like this version of it that I keep seeing, where we're playing the Tamio, the Nethergoyf, the really cheap threats, and all the controlling spells. Like, I think this is going to continue to be a player in the meta. Oof, that's rough. We're very much running on empty. Yeah, because it controls us, and look at that, it's just putting the pressure on. Okay, they're letting me potentially hit them with Ragavan, which could be a big mistake. I'm sure they have a Fatal Push, right? That's a good enough draw against them that I'm happy to keep it on top. Let's see if we actually do get to hit them with a Ragavan. Nah, of course not. That's fine. I'll play my land. Yeah, now they're going to get Lurrus back, which is really tough. I'm going to let myself get hit here. Okay. Hoping they play Lurrus. Sure, that's a card. I can play Bowmasters after I play that. Just so we gain that tiny bit of life. Okay. We played our Guide of Souls. In response, let's put this Bowmasters into play. Get our life gain, get our energy. Alright, and let's take a look. What's going on here? I don't want you to have that Bowmasters. Want them to have Bowmasters, yes. Well, I want to trick them into taking this Brainstorm. How do I do it? How do I do it? If I give them these two cards, sure, Bowmasters is fine right now, but hopefully they take the other pile. Hopefully they think I'm hiding a card. They will take the Bowmasters, okay. At least they get an island and not a Mystic Sanctuary. Our opponent can shoot our Bowmasters with theirs. It's not great. Jump block here. Let's go ahead and surveil here. They don't have a counter spell as their last card. Oh, we already surveilled. Okay. Let's thin. Ooh, winnable, winnable, winnable. Everyone calm down. We get to draw a card here. Counter spell. Here. Oh, that's a tough one. Okay, I think they get us here. Yeah, this deck slaps. I wonder if Thoughtseize is even, like, appropriate against their deck. Because as much as they are a control deck, they're also slamming those creatures. And I would love the passive Graveyard Hate against them. Really love it. They're so good against them. I can't cut it. I guess the Raggy Man's gonna come out. Because, like, I have no Graveyard Hate. I would love to have an Unlicensed Curse or something here. Thinking that maybe the Rando Surgical could win me a game. I'm gonna say no and say either our Bolt or our Ragavan is better on average. And we're gonna be on the play, correct? Yes, because they just won that game. So probably Ragavans over Bolts. Right, on the play. Ocelot, Pride, and Guide of Souls. It's a good day. Okay, let's start out with Guide of Souls. This card is so busted. I'm actually just going to decline to have an Ocelot Pride on the play that might just connect with them. I think it's better to just go ahead and then play curve a Johnny into Raptor. And even if Guide of Souls gets answered here, they're going to then have to answer my Ajani, and then we get these cards to just be resolved.
Teamwork triumphs.
Looks like I'm at least getting some amount of life and energy, which is great. Guide of Souls is such a good card. Oh. Oh, this card's too good. I'd play 10 copies. No, I'd play 40 copies. This would beat the 40 Bolt 20 Mountain deck, I'd tell you that. Okay. I think we amp it up first, and then drop the kitty cat. This might just eat a Mana Drain. Spell Snare, you got it. Spell Snare is such a good card in the current meta. Alright, that resolves. Alright, it's good combat here. We're gonna put the counters on this cat, because if they want to kill whatever I put counters on and okay, this opponent's impatient. Both of their conceits were on turn 2. But I was gonna put the counters on the cat, because if our opponent wants to kill the cat, to, you know, deny the bigger attacker, it's gonna flip my Ajani for me very conveniently. Alright, we are going to be on the draw against Little Tylee. Top 1000 matchup. This is a Hand that is slow if Ragavan is answered, but at least it's a hand that presents the Ragavan, demands a removal spell, and then lets me go slow at my Bowmasters and my Chthonian. They're playing Lurrus, so it is a fair deck that we are going to be up against. Whether it's energy, what I'm playing, or control is yet to be decided. Okay, they play a Tamiyo. So the question is, do I want to play the Ragavan, or do I just want to shoot the Tamiyo right now? And I think the answer is I want to shoot the Tamiyo right now. Because this Ragavan's never going to connect. They'll just keep Tamiyo back to block it. And if they brainstorm, they could flip it whenever. And I don't want to deal with a flip Tamiyo. And by I don't want to, I mean my deck is going to lose if they flip a Tamiyo. So let's go ahead and get it out of the way. Your deck has too many answers to Ragavan for me to just slam it when they have a potentially game-ending threat combined with a brainstorm. Alright, there she's back.
I've read nearly the entire library.
Okay, so the good news here is that even though Tamiyo has read the entire library, if they brainstorm to flip her, we just flash out the Bowmasters, and then the Bowmasters would kill her before the flip happens, because it would be 3 pinks. Now, what could get a little sus is they could flip in response to me fetching here, or in response to me playing the Bowmasters. But then we at least get to attack Tamiyo with the Bowmasters, and she'd only have 2 loyalty, so she dies. So now we have a decision point here. Would we like to dash a Ragavan? Ooh. Do I want to dash a Ragavan? No, I think I just want to shoot Tamiyo and then do the same thing where we flash in Bowmasters on their end step. This is such a scary card, man. It's a shoot on sight 1-drop, just like Ragavan. They did it. They printed blue Ragavan alongside white Ragavan in this set. It doesn't run away with the game by itself like Ragavan or white Ragavan does, but it is the kind of 1-drop that you really just have to answer. Okay, let's get the second red source here. I'm flashing the Bowmasters. Alright, goodbye, first Bowmasters. Our opponent will be brainstorming and fetching. Lack of Bowmasters disturbs me. However, we do have Chthonian Nightmare in our hands, so what we're going to do here, play the Guide of Souls. We also could have dashed the Raggy Man, by the way. Maybe I should have. I didn't really think about it. I just said, oh, let's saturate my mana, because I can do exactly enough things to saturate my mana here. But maybe that wasn't correct. Maybe I should have dashed in the Monkey Boy. But now, with a slow monkey, we can fly him next turn. We turn him into a Monkey Angel. Monkey Angel. Think about that. Hey, goodbye, opponent. Cool. So this is actually, I'd call it pretty much the same Lurrus deck, except that they are playing Grixis instead of just blue-black, mostly for strong cards like Lightning Bolt. Maybe they're playing Dragon's Rage Channeler as a package. Either way, it's going to play very similarly to the last deck. And maybe I should really just put in Licensed Hearse in the sideboard, because I haven't been super happy with these rando surgicals. I mean, they have their upsides, but maybe you need Unlicensed Hearse. Or maybe Deathrite Shaman back in the deck, because that's very nice passive graveyard hate. I remember I really didn't like that version with the Shaman. Probably some Thought Seizes. We're on the draw, the Raggy Mans. They come out for the Thought Seizes, I'm sure. And then we play something like this. Alright. Opponent goes first, but we got 2 removal spells. We got the Amped Raptor to build a board state. This is good stuff. We do have Double Nightmare, but which is essentially a mulligan because like the card doesn't do anything in multiples, but it's the kind of card that eats a counter spell in this matchup, so I'm actually happy to have the second copy. They're one of Kolagon's command gamer. I should have known it. That's why they're splashing red. Alright, give me my Rakdos land real quick. Give me the Ruckus. Guide of Souls. Best card in the deck. Stays on top. We're not going to be able to play it on turn 1, unfortunately, but it's still here. So the question is, what do we want to do? Do we want to play the Amped Raptor with no targets for it potentially? I think actually what I want to do is I'm just going to fetch. I think I fetch Godless Shrine, play Guide of Souls, hold up red mana. And then we'll play Amped Raptor next turn. Okay, he goes to Jesus, that's fine. Alright. I don't want to just cast threats into open mana, but I think since I have this redundant Double Nightmare here, what I'm happy to do is to just play it. This trades 1-for-1 with a counter spell. You can have it, opponent. You can counter this. It doesn't do anything. Yep, that's a spell snare that won't hit my Amped Raptor now. I'll just pass to them. It is unfortunate. I think they're very favored to win this game because we didn't get off early. So now they have their time to draw cards, get their lane game set up, brainstorm on my end step for some godforsaken reason. You know. One day people will stop brainstorming on end steps one day. If you have a Lorien revealed to cycle right now, it makes it slightly more permissible, but you don't. Stop brainstorming on end steps. Okay, this turn we're looking to jam 2 threats. I think the threats, they start with this Nightmare. They countered it last time. I'm very inclined to believe they're going to counter it again. They do. Now we get to jam our Amped Raptor and hopefully get a cool 2-for-1. Nice, it resolves clean. No, we hit our energy spell. Bit of a womp womp, but we at least got a bunch of energy. So unfortunately, we just have a 2-1 in play. Instead of getting a nice 2-for-1, our opponent will draw 2 cards, casting Pot of Greed. But what does it do? Now we can go ahead and get in there with the Amped Raptor. And what we can do, we can saturate our mana very well. We put the Lurrus into the hand. We play an Ocelot Pride. We play our other land here. We're out of Surveil lands, unfortunately, but we can fetch out a mountain if we need to Lightning Bolt. I wonder why they flamed at sorcery speed. They must have been completely out of gas. If there's a drown on the lock, sure, that's probably had Lurrus' name on it. But if they're out of gas, they might not have an answer for Lurrus and for the Ocelot Pride, so hopefully the Ocelot Pride kind of just runs away with it. Ooh, unstable amulet, you say? We're going to begin by going to combat here. We're going to swing at them for 3. And then we will do our actions after combat, so at least we get this combat damage through. We gained a life for this card. We're going to do Lurrus now. No, we're going to do Amulet first. I really want this Lurrus to resolve and stay resolved. They cycle and unearth to try and hit another counter spell. Okay. Nappy? Okay. Snap hits Spell Snare. Sure. But now Lurrus, unfortunately, can just die to drown again. And I can't flash something back right away. So I think I pass again. We get a kitty cat, though. Maybe I should have done that in the other order, because I play Lurrus, they play Drown, I play my other cards. They might not have enough mana to snap and do it all. I'm gonna fetch here just to thin the deck, might as well. This is the fourth time I wanted to surveil this game. I don't know if 3 surveillance is correct, though. A Prismatic Ending, not good against the Snapcaster Mage, but good against some of their other threat suite. Let's go to combat here. Let's attack with all of our first strikers. Yeah, they just throw them in front of the bus. So this just dies to a counterspell, so I think it stays in our hand. Our opponent can waste mana all they want. They're at 7, I have Burn in hand. We have an ever-growing board. Okay, you know what? You could have given me 300 guesses for what card my opponent had. Flame Sweep would not have been it. Okay. Also not like before combat or anything, but whatever. Resolves. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and Lightning Bolt you. Maybe that beats out some removal. Or beats out some counter spells. Unfortunately, it doesn't. So I think we're just gonna pass. I wonder if I missequenced, if I had a better opportunity to resolve multiple things on the same turn before. Because not having access to counterspells here means that I just lose the interaction war every time. I mean, if we want to stare at each other, if you really want to do it, like, we can. I get a basic, so they probably only have the one Mystic Sanctuary in the deck, which is good. We do have all these Lurrus answers now, which is nice. I don't think it's wise to just play Lurrus into this. I think I need to draw another threat of sorts. Yeah, and our opponent also just doesn't want to do anything. Understandable. If they fetch again, we could draw our other bolt and kill them that way, which would be pretty funny. We'll just keep making land drops. At least we only have 7 lands left in the deck. Yeah, I think this game is quite lost if our opponent has this many cards in hand, but I will play it out until something funny happens. Okay. So we can Amp Raptor and Lurrus in one turn together to try to get its resolve. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait one more turn. I'm going to let my opponent flinch and see if maybe they want to play their Lurrus first. Spend some of their mana. They do want to play their Lurrus first, spend some of their mana. Snap, you got it. What's it snapping? Yeah, Flame of an Ore. That's gonna tap you out, man. Storm. Okay. Sure. If it was Flame of an Ore, I would consider discharging the Lurrus. Or discharging the Snapcaster Mage before they got a chance to cast it. They let Lurrus die. Interesting. I'm going to attempt to resolve an Amped Raptor first. It's a counterspell. Understandable. Alright, how about a Bowmasters? That one resolves. Okay. This is a 2-turn clock in play. And since I know they still have a counter, we're just going to chill. They bolt my 1/1, yep. Still got a 4-turn clock, though. This is a weird game. I don't think I deserve to win this. They have another Snapcaster just there. I can snap back anything? What is it gonna be? A command. Not a fan. Not a fan. Oh, not a fan at all. That resolves. Ooh, not a fan at all. So here they can go ahead and get their Lurrus back. And make me discard a card. I think I would discard the pending at this point. Yeah, I discard the pending. They got Snappy back and not Lurrus, which is really interesting to me. Why? Why not just get Lurrus and then rebuy the Snapcaster? Oh, now they're going to unearth the Lurrus that way? Okay, sure, whatever. But build your own unearth special. Pick your tab opponent. And then they could flashback that other Snapcaster. Okay. Bolt me. Nice and straightforward. We'll go ahead to deal 2 damage to your Lurrus. And hopefully we rip a banger card like Ampdraptor that they kind of have to counter. If we do, we're like totally back into the game if we draw Ampdraptor. Oh, this is a good one too. We have to get a creature into play, but yeah, it's a card that gets us somewhere at some point in the future, and maybe it baits a counter spell. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I'd love to draw a Raptor or a Bowmaster so that we can get using this thing. Static. Do I care? Yes, I care. Our opponent is deciding if they care. Ground Lock goes off. I'm going to play this Lurrus. It gets countered 99.9% of the time. But I can at least concede in peace once it happens. Alright, so this is the very controlling version of the deck, so we actually don't want the pending. We want them Thought Seizes. I love me some Thought Seizes. The game's going to go too long for Static Prison. And maybe Bolts too. We take out a Chthonian Nightmare. We run it like this. No, Chthonian Nightmare and Thought Seizer are going to be better than Bolt in this matchup. Just gotta get under them. We gotta let the game go as quick as possible here. Do need to respect their threats like Tameo, though. Okay. Yeah, one lander, but we get to present all of the crazy threats in the deck, so Ragavan, answer it. Ocelot Pride, answer it. Guide of Souls here to shore it up. It's not gonna be easy for them. Yep, bolted. Understandable. How about another one drop? I'm gonna say how about another if you kill this one. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna play the other one. Nice. So now we get a bunch of 1/1s. Sure. I don't know why they wouldn't shoot the first cat in combat, to be honest. Then I get a trigger. Whatever. Snappy, shoot the other cat, makes sense. But now they're tapped out, so we can resolve something. Especially resolving a 2-drop if we drew the land. But unfortunately we didn't. I should have attacked before playing my guide, but whatever. It's all good, because I don't think they're blocking no matter what. Alright, so we do need a lifeline here. Oh, 2 for 1. That's tragic. 3 for 1, technically. So the third land does need, or second, excuse me, the second land does need to show up at some point. We cannot continue forever like this. I think this was. I will defend this keep though. I think it was totally fine presenting all of these one drops and saying, "Hey, you got to stop all of them." I think that's defensible. Maybe I'm wrong though, with how this deck is built. They can just throw down a Snapcaster Mage and get 2-for-1s and put up a blocker and all that stuff. 5 lands against 1. Unfortunately, it's not going to end well for the home team. Okay, well, I think we just got smothered in value. Yeah, I don't think we can claw this game back. They have 6 cards in hand. It might seem like a preliminary concession from me, but they have a iron grip on the game if they've drawn that many cards. They could just 1-for-1 counter spell everything I play and use the rest of their mana to keep getting card advantage or play a Lurrus or whatever. So unfortunately, that's going to be the end of the streak right there with the deck. But it was some fun games. I'm going to chop off the video too because it's been about an hour. So thanks for watching. This deck's freaking awesome. That was my first loss in about 15 games with it. Oh man, this is sweet. This is the version of the deck that I 110% recommend. I'm really missing having, because now the meta is beginning to settle a little bit, and I keep seeing the Fair Chthonian Nightmare decks, the Flage versions of this deck, and the cute little Lurrus decks that are more controlling. So I'm thinking maybe we want these 2 hearses on the sideboard. Maybe we do. And then what don't we want? I think the surgicals just might be too cute. Right? I'm thinking about it. Because against scam, surgical isn't great because they just grief you and they take the surgical. Um, I do like ripping the show and tell combo piece out of the show and tell deck, but just thought sees them like a normal person. Sun cleanser on licensed first. Maybe we just want one more hate piece. We want another deafening silence for the unfair matchups. Maybe we want another removal spell like swords to plowshares. Maybe we just wanted a sun cleanser, really. I would probably put in another prismatic or another sun cleanser if I had those, but I don't have the wild cards right now, right? Just thinking about what else might go here. We could put in one more discard spell in the form of a duress, or we can put in a deafening silence, or maybe a damping sphere, or maybe one more needle. I think I only own 2 needles though. So we could put in the flute of justice. Put it out. Just help us out a little bit against those unfair decks, because if somebody takes my advice and starts queuing up Belcher, we're gonna freaking lose. Alright. Yeah, this looks pretty decent. I think this is how I would change the sideboard. I just haven't been loving surgicals, and I did want to take them out. In that matchup, we would have brought in the hearse. Hearse actually is really sweet. It gets its value over time while shutting off their game graveyard plan. And it is a late game win condition, which I absolutely love against decks that try to lock you down. All right, but that was it. I said I'd play until I lose. I lost. See you next time.